I admit it. I've been driving Ford Rangers for 3 years now. And as a mechanic, I've always believed you gotta have a pickup truck if you want to make it easier to bring things to the shop if you're gonna be a mechanic for a school bus company. But times have changed and so have I. With the new Ford Ranger coming out, I wasn't originally a fan when I first saw it come out when it was only for Australia, but as I said, times have changed and so have I. Sure, this Ford Ranger only has a 2.3-liter 4-cylinder engine in it, but it's quite the 4-cylinder. It puts out nearly 300 horsepower, and here's how that works for it. First of all, it uses gasoline direct injection. With gasoline direct injection, what it does is it pumps fuel right down the side right there and right into the cylinders. That's a more efficient way of you getting more horsepower and better gas mileage at the same time. Now, the other way of this thing getting nearly 300 horsepower is with that twin scroll turbocharger right down there. It's a modern design turbocharger that works almost just like two turbochargers, except it's not actually two turbochargers, it's just two scrollers and one turbocharger. Now, when I first saw the new Ford Ranger back in the day, well, like almost a year ago, I wasn't really a big fan of it because I thought it wasn't actually going to come to Canada or America. I thought it was just going to stay in Australia and UK. But you never know when. You know, Ford likes to have a mid-sized pickup truck. Like, as most of us car people know, Ford Rangers are based in Australia, specifically my truck right here, my Ford Ranger XLT. Well, not the XLT, but the actual model itself was based in Australia, not the trim. Now, for one fact, the new Ford Rangers that start coming out are not going to get good mileage at all either, not the best, because I own a Ford Ranger, and the fuel mileage on this is not the best, of course, because it's a pickup truck. And I'll show you guys what I see every time I'm driving this truck. So, on just... Be quiet. So, on just past 1/4 of a tank right there, you see that? Just past 1/4 of a tank right there, I'm only getting 108 kilometers. Not the best fuel economy. Now, once the new Ford Rangers come out, they're going to have completely different engines than the ones in Australia. But, except for the 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that's in the Ranger Raptor. That's actually an American V6 that they're using in Australia right now for the new Ford Ranger. It's the same engine that's in the Ford Bronco Raptor, and it'll be coming into the Ford Ranger Raptor when it comes out. But what are the other two options? Of course, it's still going to have the regular 2.3-liter twin-scroll turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's what I have in this. And then it's going to have the 2.7-liter twin-turbo V6. It's going to be the same engine that's in the Ford Broncos that you can find. But those are different ones. I would say that if they're going to bring the Wildtrak here, that it's going to be in that. Now, unlike the Ford Broncos, I don't think it's going to have a 10-speed auto. I might just stick with an 8-speed auto like what I have right here. This is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Instead, I think it might just stay the same. It just an 8-speed. And unlike the Ford Broncos, I don't think it's going to have a 7-speed manual transmission, even though the Tacoma has a 6-speed manual, and it's also a mid-sized pickup truck. But I doubt this will have a 7-speed or a 6-speed right here. Doubt it. And it's going to have a electronic handbrake and not a manual one like right here, what I have. Now, in Australia and all that, the horn on the new Ford Ranger is pretty dinky. I'm not sure why Ford puts those types of horns on a truck. I don't know who does that. Australia does, that's for sure. The Ford of Australia does that. But on this is built in Michigan, and they put really, aggressive horns, because guess what? This is a pickup truck, so you gotta have an aggressive horn on a pickup truck, so this is what my horn sounds like. Yeah, pretty aggressive, huh? Something else I forgot to point out is I have a sprint booster on this. So this thing is not actually going to get 277 horsepower. It'll get a little bit more horsepower than this. Maybe it'll actually get a little bit over 300 horsepower. A sprint booster is a device that makes your throttle response more responsible, like when you're hitting the accelerator, by drastically improving your acceleration time, giving you instant power, like instant horsepower. I'm not joking. That's what it does. So that's how I get more power than 277 horsepower on like a normal Ford Ranger. This thing is no joke. And speaking of no joke, I forgot to point out on the new Ford Ranger Raptor that's coming, the exhaust on that is crazy. Let's take a listen to it together, folks. Yeah, it's like literally no joke. That's probably one of the nicest sounding exhausts I've probably heard on a twin turbo V6 truck. Now, when it comes to the trucks or something, the real trucks, not the, another reason why they get terrible gas mileage is because of the body frames on these things. This is a body frame right here. That's why they get less gas mileage, because body frames make them way more, unlike unibodies. They're just one-piece vehicles. With the body frames, they're like two parts. It's just one piece. It's like my Chevrolet Bolt right here. Unibody, it's all one piece. Yeah, they'll actually get better gas mileage because they weigh less. So yeah, in the end of the day, I wasn't really the biggest fan of the new Ford Ranger that's coming out in a few months from now. I wasn't really a big fan of it back then, but times change and so do I. So until then, what do you guys think of the new Ford Ranger so far? And when do you think it's going to come out? How do you think it's going to look in person? Do you think it's going to look better or worse? Let me know your opinions. But until then, have a great day, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great one, guys.